Okay, let's get started. Thank you for joining us for this webinar about the release of Opencell version 10. We will start with a short introduction, then I will show you the new portal, then we'll see the new features and improved features we added to this version. Then I will present you briefly the documentation portal, and we will finish with a Q&A session. I'm Stéphane Chambrin. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Opencell. I've been working at Opencell for 5 years, and it's over 15 years now that I'm working with billing systems. First, a few rules. We will turn off your microphones. Please, if you didn't do it already, turn off your camera. You can ask questions in the chat, and then we will answer during the Q&A session. But we will also have a live Q&A session at the end, where you can directly ask your questions. Mid-October, this is the date when the version 10 of Opencell will be released. It will become the current version with new core functionalities and improvement, and new user experience with the long-awaited new portal. Also, the admin GUI, the old legacy GUI, is officially deprecated. It will be removed in maybe not the next version, maybe not 11, maybe 12. Just the time for us to migrate all the pages and all the functionalities. But now we will do it sooner than later. The new portal. The new portal features interesting features, such as logging pages, material UI design, all these things we will review together just now live on a web browser. First of all, we have the new login page, with the Opencell branding. And what is particularly interesting with this login page is that it's a Keycloak template login page, and that allows us to benefit from all the features from Keycloak, which is user registration, O2. We can also use user federation with LDAP or whatever. We can connect with Google, with Facebook, all these things, and also use one-time passwords, such as those provided by Google Authenticator. All this allows us to make full use of the power of Keycloak, which is a very good product for user management and authentication. Now I log in. So this is a demo version of the portal. It's composed of several parts. On the left part, you have the list of applications and also a possibility to choose a language. Then you have the second band here is a menu with some menus. And on the rightest part, you have the page itself, which is composed of widgets. These widgets allows us to compose a page as we want. We have widgets to display maps. We have widgets to display list of users. We have widgets for many things. We have widgets for File Explorer. All this you can compose on your page, so you can build the application that you want that will fit your business needs the best. So among the application we have on the standard configuration, here what we have seen first is the tutorial application. It's the application that we build when we follow the tutorial that's available on the new documentation portal. This tutorial allows you to learn how to configure your own Opencell portal. We can imagine applications with charts and dashboards. We also have the marketing manager, which is an application that allows us to manage the billing offers. It's more dedicated to the marketing team. It will soon, at the end of the year, it will be supplemented by the CPQ, CPQ that will provide advanced quoting and commercial offer management. We can also have an application that is a customer care that allows us to manage the customer. You can view the customer details, change them, of course, view his invoice, his consumption, and so on and so on. All you need for the customer services. We can also have a finance application where you have a dashboard and managing extracts and accounting. And of course, the administration application that will where we will migrate all the features from the old application. This is used mainly for setting up Opencell the first time. You see, here I also have a small application that I will show you later. It's very simple. As you see, this organization using application allows you to customize the portal as you want for the various needs of your users. You can have customer care users, account managers, you have marketing, finance, all this. We design this so the portal can be personal oriented, and each business each people in the company can have the portal, the interface that suits his needs the best. And of course, this is all material design. We choose this to have a fast interface, easy to learn, because we all have worked with the Google products, and it's rather easy. And all this is very fast. Another interesting point with the portal is that it's easy to configure. Here, just to show you, we have the portal engine that display the pages and do all the internal stuff and contains the widgets. A default configuration, which is more or less the one I've shown you just now. And then we can add specific applications that will exactly meet your needs. And now I will show you how to add a new application. This is done very easily by just uploading a JSON file. These files will be provided to you by either your IT services or integrator or even by us. For example, here we have a very short file configuration file that that allows to display a list of the wallet operations. I will show you just now, and I will add two new. I will add a new interface that I have pre-configured that I've called secured. I just need to modify this file and upload it to the server. This can be done easily. If you deploy the portal, you can do it from inside the portal using the Opencell File Explorer. So all the additional interfaces, all the additional applications are uploaded to a single folder. I've already uploaded these files, but I still need to upload the modified file that declares which interfaces are available. I reload the page. And here we can see that we have a new application, which I called a secure interface. And you see that it's gray. And when you click on it, nothing happens. Why is that so? It's because the user I'm connected with here, Opencell admin, doesn't have the rights to access this page. Access management in Portal is role-based, so you can decide to make an interface, so an application, pages, or even components, page components, accessible based on roles. For example, here I will disconnect and reconnect with another user that I called interface because he has access to the interface. And you see the button here is no more gray. You can access this new interface and see the dashboard. It's a very simple dashboard for the demonstration. And you see there's another page here that's great now and that I cannot access. So I will log out again and log back in with another user who has access to the modules. These on this part are modules. It contains a module can contain several pages. In this demonstration, we only have one page. So now we can access it, see the widgets on the page, and access some unsecured button, action button. Then we will see if I disconnect again and reconnect with another user called component because it has access to a specific component that I will show you. And now it has access to this button that's appeared, which is an access to a secured page. So you see, you can finely tune the permissions on of the users to access very specific items on the pages. That allows you to define roles. For example, for customer services, you can have a level one agent who's only able to visualize information, and then you can have a level 2. We will be able to modify the information.
Stéphane, could you just comment a little bit more on the sort of overall functional coverage of the portal, just to make it clear, because it's fairly technical at this point. So just to talk about what it covers for the different users.
Yes. So I shortly presented the different interfaces, but we have several interfaces that are aimed at certain groups of people, such as the marketing manager, that will allow to the marketing team to manage the offer, update them, to create new offers based on templates. And all these, actually, this portal can be configured for any business in the company. You will have interfaces for the IT team, which mainly will be the administration interface. You can have interface for the customer care.
Yeah.
And for the finance and so on. So with one application inside one big meta application, which we call portal in Opencell, you can address the needs of every department in the company. Of course, as we have seen, all the different applications inside the portal will not be available to every profile in the company. That means, depending on the user, someone connects to the portal, he will see a different interface with exactly what he needs.
Okay.
Does that describe more what the portal is used to? Okay. So I think I've covered the portal presentation. So now let's switch to the other features.
Maybe we should. I thought we would do. Oh, we'll talk about Salesforce later. Sorry. Yeah. Apologies.
No problem. So the other features, we have a list of new features and improved features that we have added to the Opencell version 10, and I will present them to you. First, we improve multi-tenant. We were already multi-tenant with multi-seller and multi-instance, but this form of multi-tenant we've implemented allows to have one single Opencell setup and one application server, but several completely separated databases. This is very interesting, mostly for SaaS companies, companies companies whose clients require strict data segregation. We have such examples of clients that want their data to be specifically on a separate database. So this setup solves this issue, this multi-tenant setting, and the tenant access is based on the user. So in Keycloak, we will say that user X will have access to tenant A, for example, and every interaction of this user with Opencell will be in this tenant, be it API calls or using the portal. The user will only see the data from his tenant. We also implemented the generic API security, which allows to grant permission to a user to access certain entity types in Opencell, for example, customers, invoices, offers, and so on, and execute a series of actions on these entities. The actions possible is a list, which is read, update, create, and remove. We can also restrict access to some specific entity instances. To say it another way, we have the user A, which is an account manager who has the role account manager. He will be allowed with this role to list and update customers, but it's an account manager for a specific customer, which is a very important customer. So he has his own account manager, which is customer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this user A will be able to see only the data for customer for this customer. This allows to create some customer wallets, customer pools to assign to specific agents. Another new feature is customer document management. It allows to manage all the document uploaded by the customer. It can be SEPA mandates or terms and conditions or identity proofs. And these documents are linked to an account, to a specific customer. They are stored, the uploaded documents are stored on Opencell file system, which makes them available to through the Opencell APIs. We also added energy mediation for French providers. It will be in production next month. Basically, what the energy mediation does, it receives data from the energy distributors, which in France is LEDs for electricity and GRDF for gas, and they collect them, they make aggregation on them, they aggregate them, and process them in a way that they can be easily inserted into Opencell, imported into Opencell, and then rated by the Opencell rating engine. What we implemented is, of course, as I said, for French market, but this can be easily adapted to other providers from other countries, of course. And this energy mediation is also completely integrated into the portal. So here you have an example of the screen to manage this mediation. You can have you can manage the energy reports from the network, from the provider, and process that, send them to processing to Opencell. All this is another application in the portal. Now a word on the Salesforce connector. We have improved the Salesforce connector, especially synchronization of Salesforce accounts. We also added a unified interface to the Opencell connector that will make it easier for communication with Opencell. This is an example of implementation of the Opencell connector. We have the connector here, which is whose role is more to communicate with Opencell, and here we added an adapter layer that will allow for smooth integration between an existing Salesforce configuration with Salesforce objects and the Opencell objects. We added this because we often arrive on Salesforce implementation on pre-existing Salesforce implementation. So the accounts, the objects in Salesforce may not be exactly like we would like them to be for Opencell. So this adapter layer allows to transform the Salesforce object into Opencell objects. Now I will give the microphone to Nabil, who will show you how our Salesforce connector works.
Thank you, Stéphane, for this introduction. So, do you guys hear me well? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm Nabil Lazrak, solution architect here at Opencell. So I've been working in the billing sector since 3 years now. And today I'm going to show you the Salesforce connector for Opencell. So let me first show you my screen, share my screen with you. Oh. Okay, so are you able to see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, it's okay.
So here we are on the Salesforce interface. You can see here that we are on the Opencell package on our connector. So the connector makes many things. One of these things is the synchronization of the accounts. Let's start a process for now. So let's say that I will create a new account. So I can go here to the list of accounts and create a new one. I will call it, for instance, I don't know. Webinar. Webinar. Okay, webinar. And there I need an email address for that account. And the billing address. So let's say that it will be 567. Okay. And that it's in Paris or in Palaiseau. And now I save the client. So I just created a new account on Salesforce. And as I said before, the connector makes a synchronization of these accounts. So I can go to this one or go to another one, for instance, go to Volcania, I don't know. And here, once on that page, so we have this component here. So the quote manager, this quote manager is a component, it's a Lightning component for people who know Salesforce, Lightning Web Component, which makes easy to make an offer, to make a quote, and to transform it into an order. So these offers are related to the cloud sector. So let's create a new quote then. So I will take a standard offer. Under that offer, we have many services. We have the setup, the virtual machines, server outsourcing, and the project management. So let's add some of these services. So here I choose setup. So we have the VM provisioning. I can, for instance, change the bid price of that service. Let's add it to the list. And here you can see that we have some metrics about the MRR, so the monthly recognized revenue, or the TCV, the total contracted value. And as soon as I'm adding a service to the list, these metrics change. So let's say that we'll add a virtual machine. So we have here the CPU. Let's say that we'll have 4 CPUs in our virtual machine, 8 giga RAMs, and 1000 in the hard drive. So let's add this. You can see here that these options are mandatory. I cannot unselect them. Now I will add some servers outsourcing. So I can choose between these three. So there is a mutual exclusion between them. So I add them in the list, and I can add the project management. So here we have all our services. I can here and delete the last one because I made a mistake when I selected it. And let's save it for now. So once we saved it, we can generate a quote, generate a PDF for that quote. So let's click here, generate PDF. And you can see here that we have a new quote. We can check it. So if we go to the related objects, we have here the quote. And we found here the services that I selected before. So now, since the PDF was created, I can send it to my customer. At that stage, the status of my code changed. So now it's pending to customer. So we are waiting for the customer validation. So we can either validate this code or reject it. So let's say that the customer validates it. So we click here. Now the status changed to validated, and we can send it to Opencell. So what we're doing here is that we are going to transform this code into another with its subscription and related service instances. So let's send it to Opencell. And here we are. So now it's processed. And what's happening then is that in the configuration, we said that when we create the order, we want to have the first bill. So if you go to the invoices here, so here we have a new bill, which contains all the services related to the build phase. So here we are only billing the build phase, and we are billing 30% of this build phase. Okay, so now we are switching to the Opencell new portal. Let me just refresh the page. Okay, so here we are. So I was on which customer? On Volcania, yeah. So here there is this webinar account I created earlier. So just synchronization works. You can go into it. It has no commands, no orders, no invoices, no consumption. If I go back to Volcania, for instance, we can find here the new order that we just created, which is at 30%. So let's say that we will advance it. So I go there, click on advance, I confirm, and wait. And at that stage, you can see that it's 60%, and now I can bill this 30% that I just added. So if I go back to my order, I generate the bill, and I have it here. I can download it and check that everything is correct. Here is it. So it's the second installment, 97 euros, and here we are. So now what we will do is that we will advance this order to 100%, and at that stage we will start billing the recurring services. So let's advance it first. I confirm again. So now we are on 100% of our build. We can start billing the run services. Go back to my client. I bill it. I confirm. And here we are. So here I have a new bill. Let me just download the PDF. And here is it. So here we found the services I chose earlier in Salesforce. So we have the options related to my virtual machine, so the RAM, the CPU, the hard drive, etc. And we have here a recap of the previous installment invoices and the total here. So now here you can, for instance, check the consumptions. So let's say that I want to change my current consumptions and go to 4 more CPUs. Okay, so we can just click here on modify, change the quantity, give it a label. I confirm it. And then I have to build it. Same steps. Oh, I didn't click. Let me try it again. Okay. So here, for instance, in the command page, so here we just saw the client. We saw the orders of that client. We saw the subscriptions. We saw the consumptions. Here we can check the orders directly. So we have a quick view of what's happening there. So we know that for org 7, we are at 30%. For org 3, we are at 60%. We have here the order lines. In the menu again, we have the invoices. So we know we have here all the invoices for our customers. We can go to all the pages. We can add some features to quickly check a particular invoice and some configuration stuff. So if you have any question, feel free to ask. And that's it.
Thank you, Nabil. And that was a good demonstration of the integration of Salesforce and Opencell. And also the demonstration of another implementation of the portal.
Thank you.
Now I will finish by telling you about the various other improvements we've added to Opencell. Improvements to the billing engine, invoice minimum, which is the minimum amount that must be billed. So if the actual consumption of the user is below this minimum, another charge will be added to the invoice to reach the selected amount. We've extended this feature by allowing to set it on higher hierarchy levels. Also, we improved the invoicing threshold. On the contrary to the invoice minimum, invoicing threshold is a threshold under which the invoice will not be produced. Meaning if you set the threshold at 100, and that the amount of the invoice is only 90, then no invoice will be produced. Of course, the charge that will not be invoiced will not be lost. They will be kept and invoiced on the next billing run if the total charge amount exceeds the threshold. So we've added the computation rules and also the ability to set it on higher hierarchy levels. We've improved native invoice item sorting and also added the ability to split invoice per payment method. Also, we've improved invoicing pre-invoicing aggregation, which allows to create some business aggregates that will make it easier to ensure that the consistency of the amounts in the invoice and in the other extraction, the other reports, especially the reports sent to the accounting systems. It will also prepare the job for the invoicing, because this aggregation can be run every day, and while invoicing usually is run once a month, although we could also run the invoicing every day. And so when invoicing is triggered, it will have a less aggregation to perform, so it will be faster. We've also added improvements to the payments management. A new PSP, Ingenico Ogon SEPA. We already had credit card payments from Ingenico, and now we added SEPA. We also took this opportunity to improve handling of direct SEPA files, which is used when we directly send the direct debit files to the bank and process the return from the bank. Also, we've added the possibility to add a payment method per billing account or per subscription. Previously, the payment method was only on the customer account, which is the payer account. And now, but we had the case of setups where different subscriptions for the same client will have a different payment method. So we cannot we cannot invoice several payment methods on the same invoice. So we had to implement this feature of splitting the invoice per payment method that I told you about just before. That's all for the main improvements on new features on Opencell version 10. Of course, we have many more that you will be able to discover when the version is released, and that will be described in the release note. I wanted to tell you about the new documentation portal that will be progressively open at the end of the month. Some of you may already have access, and the support team will contact all of you one by one to explain you the process of migrating from Assembler to Jira Service Desk and how to access the documentation. We use Jira Service Desk to expose this documentation that we've written in Confluence. Jira Service Desk offers a powerful search engine that allows you to find exactly what you need in this documentation. So that's all for now. And I will now answer the questions you have asked in the chat.
Yeah, there was a question from Brahim about the process behind the advancement button for a command. I think it's more a question for Nabil, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So the thing in our order, we have some build services and some run services. And the idea of the advanced button is to have some installments, so 30% installment, 60% installment, and then 100%. And the idea is to build these different installments.
Does that answer your question, Brahim? Okay. And then there was a question from Joan Caballero about how the split invoice per payment method will work. If you can give a little bit more details on that.
Yes. let's say we have a billing account with 2 subscriptions, and each subscription has a different payment method. During the construction of the invoice, during the invoicing process, instead of generating only one invoice with all the usage and consumption, everything from the 2 subscriptions, it will produce two invoices, one for each subscription, that will be that will then be processed by the payment engine to get payment from the 2 different payment methods.
Okay. There's a question on the business model. I wanted to know whether the community edition would include the portal.
No, the community edition will not include the portal. The portal is enterprise edition feature only.
And that also includes the new APIs and all that sort of stuff that wrap around the core of
Yes, it
Opencell.
also includes the vertical mediation for energy, and yes.
There's a question from Joaquin regarding the database compatibility on the new multi-tenant feature. What are the compatible and tested data engines?
We are using PostgreSQL 12. This is the recommended version, and this is the only database that we support.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Please feel free to speak up.
We have the last one for multi-tenant item.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
You have a last one from Joaquin regarding the multi-tenant.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Any chance we'll include support for Oracle? I doubt it, right?
We didn't plan for it. Yes, it's doubtful. But it's not on the roadmap for sure. Previously, we had support for 2 database engines, MariaDB, which is MySQL, and PostgreSQL. But maintaining the both of them was really a lot of work, and so we decided to keep only PostgreSQL, and all the improvements, all the enhancements in performance and so on, we've done them for Postgres. Any more question?
Any improvements to documentation for the community edition?
Unfortunately, no. We concentrated on the documentation for the enterprise edition, and it's still possible that some information will be added to the assembler portal, but most of it, the more detailed information, will be on the enterprise edition service desk portal.
Any questions on Salesforce? We had a lot of questions on that during the French session this morning at noon. No? Okay. I think we can wrap things up. Thank you, Stéphane, again. Big day for you.
Yes, thank you all for joining us and attending. So I wish you a very good day, whatever the time is for you. And you will be notified, of course, when version 10 will be released. And We will be always be available to help you implement it for in your company. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks.